The internet has put the world at our fingertips, but all that accessibility comes with a price. Are there sinister and gruesome places we are now making accessible? The dark web. What is it? And should you be afraid? For the past 2 decades, the internet has become an increasingly relevant part of our everyday life. We use it to socialize, work, shop, and even to find love. For most people, not a day goes by when they aren't connected to the cloud or using social media. But what if, underneath the websites and networks we know, there was an ugly and even dangerous layer of the internet? One that posed a threat to our physical world. A place where every indulgence, legal and illegal, could be found. There is. What is the dark web? And is it dangerous? In the 1960s, government researchers began experimenting with a computing system that would help them share information. And by the 1980s, the underpinnings of the internet we know today had been laid. But that internet, the one that you can go on to use to do a Google search or social media sites, is called the surface web, and only 4% of the internet. It's like an iceberg. The surface web is on the top, and what we all see and use. Beneath that is the deep web, which is 90% of the internet. This is anything not accessible through search engines. This includes legal records, government resources, and academic information. Then below that is the dark web, a place you can only get to by downloading a special browser called the Onion browser or Tor. What is so special about this place? All the users are anonymous and untraceable, which means it's the perfect place to indulge in the most vile acts a person can do. Here, well-known YouTuber Etika records himself allegedly sifting through links on the dark web on a page called the Undernet Directory, a sort of table of contents for dark web dealings. Warning: this content may be disturbing for some viewers.
Ooh, we are in a bad place, bro. This is the bad place. This is the bad place, bro. Oh, shit. What is this? Dir, the Undernet Directory. If I try to go to this website, it wouldn't work on a normal browser, right? Okay, no. Business. What kind of business are we talking about here? This is the real deep web. Real blackmail, rape, and forced videos. Oh, shit. Okay, it's getting real. It's getting real, dog. It's getting really, really real, dog. Slave girls for cash? What happens if I click this link? What happened?
Proof found this tutorial video called Grave Robbing for Morons, where a young grave robber is teaching how to steal from the dead.
Now, so what you do is you grab it around here. You grab it here and peel it back like that. Okay? Peel it back. All right? And then it'll pull off. It'll make a disgusting sound. So let's say it's someone important, right? Take the dentures and you make sure they're with them. So that way the person knows who this person is, all right? All right, because sometimes you go and you risk your ass looking for somebody, all right? And somebody might be paying some serious money for it. But you have to bring some kind of proof. Then we'll get that money. or else otherwise it's not worth it. And always ask for money up front.
Was this tutorial real? The skull looks real. One of the most famous dark web videos might be one with a mysterious title, Blank Room Soup. You'll notice in this creepy video that the man is bound to the table. The scene isn't violent. In fact, it isn't clear what's happening at all. But that leaves so many questions. Is the man there against his will? Who's under the masks? And what's in the bowl? After having been on the internet for nearly 9 years, no one has confessed to uploading it. So assumptions that it's a joke or an art project have given way to an even more sinister hypothesis, that it's footage of a man being tortured. Some even believe he's being forced to eat human remains. Again, this is only a taste of what the dark web may hold. There's another level deeper that might have you fearing for your life. Next on Proof.
Don't watch this video.
These dark web videos are unnerving, but no living person seemed obviously hurt or injured. What if the dark web has a darker, more violent side? We just saw videos from the dark web that were disturbing because they were creepy. What if there were videos that went beyond creepy into the violent? In this clip called Hi Walter, a man records himself talking to a person he calls Walter about a woman he just met. Sounds innocent enough, right? Watch and see just how dark a turn it all takes.
Hi, Walter. I was at the mall today, and guess what happened? I met the most wonderful girl. We went shopping at JCPenney's, and she tried on a lot of clothes. And she ended up buying a whole lot of them, you know what I mean? And then we decided to go and take a look at some of the jewelry at K Jewelers, and she picked out this most awesome necklace, the most amazing necklace I've ever seen. And I know she wanted me to buy it for her because she kept on looking at me and kept on giving me that look. You know the look. And then we got kind of tired of the mall, and I brought her back to my place. And I know she hates cameras, Walter, but I'm going to show you her anyway. You ready?
Could this be real? Did this man actually kidnap a woman and have her in his bathroom? Or is this just theatre? Here is another clip from a security camera looking into the room of what many people think is a kidnapping victim. The woman on the cot is startled by falling objects, as if someone was trying to get into the room. Here we see her staring right into the camera, knowing she's being monitored. She clings to her blanket as if terrified. Later, she writes a sign that she only has food for 2 more days and no water, and holds it to the camera. Is it a message for her captors? She flips the sign over and asks if someone sees the video on the internet, if they would come find her and help her. Oddly though, she doesn't say her name or where she last was. Finally, she seems terrified, like someone is trying to get in. And she holds a sharpened stick for protection, waving at the cameras for help before the video ends. Was this real or faked? If real, why would somebody kidnap someone and put them on the dark web? The answer is red rooms. Red rooms are a place where you can supposedly pay to see live broadcasts of torture and killing.
A red room is an online stream of torture, murder, rape, child abuse, any of the most depraved acts that you can imagine. And, you know, the people who are watching, the highest bidders get to choose the way the person's tortured, the way they're killed. Nobody dies. Well, one guy dies. Hey, I leave it up to you guys. You know, it's about as legit as you're going to get. looking wise, you know, there are 16 days and 10 hours, 21 minutes left, and you could be a spectator. It could be you. So, obviously, now that I've got this link, I will be keeping track of this. If anything comes of it, any more myths or legends are formed. Before we close the lid on having a little look on the deep web, I'm going to have another couple of looks at a couple of forums, and we'll see what comes up on them. I'm going to turn the images on now. You'll see me put my hand in front of my face like this to create like a fucking I can't unsee shit barrier. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this and we'll see what their images on this loading screen are like.
Oh, God.
Okay. The deep web certainly has no shortage of forums where pedophiles, murderers, rapists all share tips and, you know, showcase their trophies, if you will. So it's not a push to think that some of these women or some of these men who've been held captive for years on end have ended up even unknowingly being streamed.
Investigations into red rooms have been conducted on a federal level, and many internet users claim to have paid money to watch what happens in one, but that they were sent a broken link. Still, the mere idea that violence might be broadcast for internet fame could encourage people to upload their own videos, like this one. In this video, called Daisy Leaves, we see what looks like a body wrapped in a garbage bag. It's placed in various places in the house, sitting on a chair, by a window, sleeping in bed with it, putting it in the bathtub. All the while, the man's face who is interacting with it, his face is obscured. The supposed body is hanging on a door, and the man holds what looks to be a knife, which he suddenly looks like he's violently stabbing the body with. In the kitchen, he lifts it and does something to the body. Eventually, the body makes its way down the stairs to the front door, where apparently the man takes it outside, presumably to dispose of it. Or Daisy finally leaving. Was this really a body? Was it a girl named Daisy? It looks pretty small next to the man, but if it was faked, it begs the question, what depraved mind would even fake something so heinous? And if it is real, is it an example of how many killers want some acknowledgement for their crimes? Like the Zodiac killer sending notes to the San Francisco newspapers. If that's the case, watch this YouTube unboxing where a YouTuber bought a mystery box off the dark web.
If you guys have a weak stomach, don't watch this video. Let's see what's inside. There's a piece of paper here. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this. It's a paper that says, now you know. There's a Nikon Coolpix camera. Alright, so there's an SD on this. That's not dirt, yo. If you can see, there's like little particles, but yo, most of this is like actual blood, bro. Last thing in the box. Something inside it. What the f? Showing you guys this up close and personal. What is that? Bro, look at this. Here's the video. What the fuck was that? This is a freaking video of somebody getting murdered. Now you know. What, this guy's proud? Alright, yo, I'm freaking the hell out. I actually just called to report the box. Someone should be here soon. That's messed up. That's it.
This was a disturbing surprise, but was it proof of criminal activity? Could this all be theatre from depraved minds? Are all the instances we have seen just made up fiction, or could they possibly be real? Next on Proof, our experts discuss the dark web and what really lies there. We've seen some strange and disturbing videos, but are they real or just theatre? Someone who believes that the dark web is a dangerous place is cybersecurity expert and CEO of the Cyber Defense Group, Lou Rabon. Our expert who is skeptical about the dangers of the dark web and thinks it's mostly scam artists pretending to do terrible things is journalist and author of 3 books about the dark web, Eileen Ormsby.
So there's absolutely no doubt that the dark web exists and it's a bad place. Trafficking, the drugs, weapons, there's really nasty videos, people getting beheaded, people getting killed. People will have their personal information stolen from website hacks, etc. And therefore, the dark web is where it's exchanged. Cybercrime's increased exponentially these days because it's just so easy. You can have be in another country, you can have be in an internet cafe, you can spend a minimum amount of money, and you can gain a year's salary in a week.
The dark web is probably a lot more boring than people think it is. It's nowhere near as spooky or as colourful as the videos that purport to come from there that you'll find on YouTube or Reddit or any of those places make it out to be. There's a lot of stories that claim to come from the dark web. And so there's always somebody that's gone into the dark web and they've stumbled into a red room, and then the next thing, their phone rings and there's someone on the other end of it, and all those sorts of things. So it has built up this great mythology, a great amount of theatre around the dark web and what people think it is. So the dark web is like a parallel internet that sits beneath the internet that we all know. You need a special sort of software to get into the dark web. And the most common software is called Tor. Tor was originally stood for the Onion Router. And what it is it's a piece of software that reroutes your signal all around the world, bounces from computer to computer, all the different people that are using Tor. The main feature of the Tor browser is that it provides anonymity, total anonymity. And there's a lot of reasons why people might want anonymity that have nothing to do with illegal activities. You might just not want to have your digital footprint out there. There's also, if you're in a hostile regime that blocks certain sites, you can get to those sites using Tor. So it does have these really good uses.
Everything has a good and a bad side. So anonymity on the internet is important for more repressive regimes that would not allow people to actually use the internet openly and freely or exchange content. The obvious countries where one would be surveilled on the internet are China, North Korea, Iran. So anonymity on the internet, and especially on the dark web, enables people to do some very nasty things that they would not do normally in real life.
I started exploring the dark web probably around 2011. I wrote my first article about the dark web in 2012, and that was a large expose of Silk Road, which was the first major point-and-click drugs market. I was also interested in what else was going on in the dark web, and especially when sort of myths and the spooky stuff starts to come up. I'm quite sure that all the hitman sites are scams, mainly because there is absolutely no incentive once they've got the payment to carry through and carry out the murder. The largest and most profitable of these ever was one called Besa Mafia. I had a friendly hacker get in touch with me and say, I've got into the back door, so into the engine room, if you like, of Besa Mafia. Would you like to have a look? And I said, yes, I would like to have a look. And what I discovered from there was there were people from all over the world sending Bitcoin, putting in orders, trying to have people killed. And what I also saw was all the emails that the owner of Besa Mafia sent back to these people. And he was a scammer because he kept on stringing them along, getting more and more Bitcoin out of them, promising the hit was just about to happen. And of course, it never did.
There are many instances of actual very nasty events that are happening on the dark web. One is animal torture. So there are websites where you can pay to get animals tortured in a certain way, and people will that want to view that will pay for that. So human trafficking is something that has been proven to be done through the dark web. There are many instances of people using the dark web for crime successfully.
Red Rooms came from the myth of the snuff movie, and people have always wanted to believe that the snuff movie was a thing. Basically, it is a setup where there is a camera in a room. In that room is a person, usually a female, and at an allotted time, once you've paid your Bitcoin, at an allotted time, you'll watch a person go in there and you'll be able to type in commands, and that person will torture the victim to death. There's been no evidence whatsoever that such a thing exists.
There are many things that have been discovered on the dark net about crimes that have been committed. There have been many sites that have been brought down. So those are the success stories, but there are many. The way the dark web is set up, it's possible, it's very likely that there are many things going on that we don't have any idea, because people are hiding their tracks well, and it's not being picked up by either law enforcement or the media.
I think people believe in all the crazy, scary stuff because people have always wanted to believe in that. If you go on the dark web and you have some Bitcoin and you plan to spend it, chances are very, very high that you're going to lose your Bitcoin and you're going to get scammed out of it all. It's generally safe to go and have a poke around. If I had the ability tomorrow to shut it down, would I do it? I don't think so, mainly because all it really is privacy anonymity tools. I think those privacy and anonymity tools are really, really important.
Yeah, there's no debate, first, that the dark web exists. If there's anyone that doubts it, I will show you proof that the dark web is out there and it exists. So technically, there's absolutely no debate about that. The content is out there. The intent of people trying to commit crimes is out there. The actual crimes have been committed, and the evidence of that is out there.
So we know the dark web exists, and our experts can agree that its anonymity could encourage people to live out their darkest urges. Are you convinced this occurs on the dark web? Or do you need to see more proof?